Okay, so you know how sometimes you're watching something, right? And it kind of sparks this whole debate in your head. Like, wait a minute, what am I really seeing here?
I know exactly what you mean.
It happens to me every time I watch competitive dance.
Yeah.
The athleticism is just like, whoa, it explodes off the stage.
Yeah.
So I did a deep dive into a bunch of articles about this, including a really interesting one called, get this, The Competitive World of Dance. Should it be considered a sport?
Oh, I've seen that one. Gets right to the heart of the matter.
It really got me thinking,
Yeah.
is dance a sport? Is it an art form? Or, and here's the kicker, can it somehow be both?
It's a question that has captivated people for years, and for good reason, right?
Hmm.
I mean, this article doesn't shy away from the debate at all. It dives right into those blurry lines between what we traditionally think of as sport and the incredible world of competitive dance.
Yeah, and what I found so interesting was how we even define sport in the first place.
Yeah.
Is it purely about, like, physical exertion? Or are there all these other factors at play?
It's definitely more nuanced than just physical exertion, I think. There's this fascinating blend of elements to consider. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the competition, the skill, the strategy involved,
Right.
and even like a bit of national pride when you think about something like the Olympics. But it gets really, really interesting when you start to consider things like artistic expression and the role of subjective judging,
Oh, totally.
which of course are often central to dance.
And speaking of exertion, this other article I read, The Uncensored Dance Mom, it did not hold back on showcasing just how intense dance really is. I mean, these dancers are putting in some serious hours, building incredible strength, flexibility.
Absolutely. The demands on a dancer's body are immense.
It's unreal.
The article highlighted, for example, the core strength it takes to pull off a ballet lift, right?
Hey!
Or the stamina required for like a 4-minute high energy routine. It's wild.
It's a whole body effort that goes way beyond just, like, looking graceful on stage.
Oh, for sure. Way beyond.
Okay, get this, and this just blew my mind when I read it. Jerry Rice, yes, the Jerry Rice NFL Hall of Famer,
Of course.
he used ballet to improve his footwork and balance on the football field.
Wow.
Ballet. It makes you wonder how much crossover there is between dance and other sports.
It really highlights the athleticism inherent in dance. Think about the demands on a wide receiver like Jerry Rice, right? Agility, precision, the ability to like change direction quickly. Ballet training, with its emphasis on balance and control,
Right.
it translates surprisingly well to that.
And it's not just about strength and stamina, right? Dancers have this insane knowledge of their bodies and how to avoid injury. I'm talking sprains, fractures, tendinitis.
Yeah.
The article went through it all. They're practically sports medicine experts in their own right.
It's true. The physical demands of dance are no joke. They have to be so in tune with their bodies to prevent and manage those risks. It makes you wonder, does that level of training and injury awareness further blur the lines between dance and traditional sports?
And speaking of blurring lines, let's talk competition. This article described these high-stakes dance competitions, different divisions, judging panels, the works. It sounds as intense as any sporting event I've ever seen.
The energy at those competitions is electric. Imagine the pressure of a basketball championship game, with rivals going head-to-head for the trophy. Dance competitions have that same intensity, that drive to outperform and impress. But then there's the judging aspect, which adds another layer of complexity.
Right. In basketball, the team with the most points at the buzzer wins. But in dance, you have this added element of artistry, where subjective interpretation comes into play. One judge might connect with the raw emotion of a piece, while another prioritizes technical precision.
Exactly. And that's where the debate gets really interesting. Is that subjective element a fundamental difference from more objective sports? Or is it all just a spectrum? Think about figure skating or gymnastics, where you see that same blend of athleticism and artistry being judged. It's not so clear-cut.
And here's where the Uncensored Dance Mom article threw in a curveball. They highlighted this unique mix of rivalry and camaraderie in the dance world. It's like they're pushing their limits, striving to be the best, but also deeply respecting each other's artistry.
That's such an important point. You see it in other creative fields too, where artists can admire and learn from each other while still competing. It speaks to a shared passion and understanding that you don't always see in more traditional sports.
Okay, but the article didn't shy away from the counter-argument either. Some people worry that calling dance a sport diminishes its emotional power, the storytelling aspect that makes it so captivating.
It's a valid concern. Dance has this incredible ability to tap into our emotions, to tell stories without words. It's a form of expression that's been around for centuries, deeply intertwined with culture and tradition. Reducing it to just a sport might feel reductive to some.
And the article really emphasized that history. Dance has been around far longer than many modern sports.
Yep.
It makes you wonder if that historical and cultural weight gives it a different kind of significance. I mean, when you think about it, right? Ancient rituals, cultural celebrations, it's often dance that's at the very heart of it all.
It's true.
It's like this powerful reminder that dance connects us to something, I don't know, deeper, like to the human experience across time.
And that brings us back to the subjectivity of it all, right?
Yeah.
If the winner can be a matter of opinion, does that mean it can't be a sport in the traditional sense? It's a fascinating question to ponder.
You know, I loved how the Uncensored Dance Mom article put it. They asked if maybe we need to, like, invent a whole new word.
Yeah.
Are we limiting ourselves with these categories of sport and art? What about something like sport art or kinesthetic storytelling?
Huh. I'm all for pushing the boundaries of language. It's about finding terms that accurately reflect the complexity of these activities, right? Because it's not just dance that we're grappling with here.
Exactly.
Look at figure skating, gymnastics, Even synchronized swimming has that same blend of athleticism and artistic expression.
So what would you say sets these activities apart then? And what connects them? It feels like we're seeing a pattern here.
The common thread, I think, is that fusion of technical prowess and creative execution. They're all striving to evoke something beyond just physical victory. They're
Yeah.
trying to tell a story, to make us feel something.
So after this whole deep dive, I have to ask, is there a right answer? Is dance ultimately a sport, an art form, or something in between? What are your thoughts?
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? There might not be one definitive answer.
Right.
And that's okay. The article ends on this thought that dance can hold multiple truths at once. It can be physically demanding and emotionally resonant, fiercely competitive, and deeply collaborative.
It's like this amazing gray area where athleticism and art just completely collide. I definitely have a whole new appreciation for what these dancers are doing, the athleticism they bring to the stage. So, next time you're watching a dance performance, think about it. What are you seeing? Is it sport or is it art? Or maybe, just maybe, it's something even more extraordinary than either one alone.
Something truly special.
Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been great food for thought. Until next time, keep those brains moving and those bodies grooving.